Welcome to EverBlackMedia.com. We are joined by Simon and Zach from Black Trillium. How you going, guys?
Thank you.
Very well.
Awesome. Well, your new album, The Fatal Shore, is out this week on April 29, and it's atmospheric and doomy and brutal, but also really well written, and a lot has gone into it, man. How was it putting this beast together as a two-piece?
Well, it probably sounds like a lot of effort's been put into it because we've been working on it for about 7 years now, on and off. So, it's almost been sort of painful in many ways, and not anyone's fault. Sometimes we were right into it, and then something happens and we lose a bit of momentum, and then it comes back again. And I think it was around 2016 where we thought we're ready to record this now, and then the recording process took a long time as well because we're in Housefox Studios, and then we've got our own personal studios recording stuff there, just weekends, free time, sending it out for mixing, all those things. And then and to release it correctly, there's so many little bits you have to organize, from t-shirts to artwork to video clips to PR. So getting it all together to make sure it was perfect, to put it out there and be the best it could be, took about 7 years. So I hope it is
a lot of gears, and it's
we've
awesome.
Put everything we've had into it. Yeah,
absolutely. And you can tell, boys, you've done really, really well. It's brutal, and it's really strong. You recorded it, as you mentioned, you did drums and guitars at Housefox Studios with the legend Ryan Miller from Black Reno, who also mixed it. He's one of the best, in my opinion, and just a top dude. How was it working with him?
Yeah, well, just really easy because, we were rehearsing back when he sort of first opened. I'm not sure when that was, but we've known him for so long. So it's sort of a natural choice for us to go to him and do it all with him.
He recently renovated his live tracking room, his big room, and just, I know he spent all this money on it, and he's also a carpenter, so he put his personal touches on it, make sure it was the best it could be, and we wanted to make sure we were the first band in that room to record as well.
We were, weren't we?
Yeah.
Cushioning the room, so that was cool.
He's a great guy. We've known him for years, and he's such a good dude. So we already knew we had a good working relationship with him as well. So when we knew we wanted to make the album the best we could be, Ryan was the first choice for that.
I'm hanging to get down there and check it out. I mean, I'm all the way up here on the Gold Coast, but I've heard nothing but good things from even friends of mine, the Black Swamp, who've been down there.
I was about to say, they did some stuff with him.
Yeah, they're like, man, it's amazing. So I'd love to get down there and check it out. And he knows what he's doing, that's for sure. And when it comes to capturing the mood and atmosphere of your songs, to set the tone for the album, where do you start? How do you start that process between you?
I guess it all comes from influences. So sort of what we were listening to would have been an effect on what we sort of came up with.
Yeah, I think, we wanted to create a dark album, and we wanted to push it as well to see how dark it could be. So normally, you try and have sort of those valleys where maybe there's a bit of hopefulness or something as well. But with this one, it's just dark. The album's it's about starting at a bad place, and then it just continually gets worse. The mental state. So and when we had to write things up and briefs for song meanings and stuff, I was just like, wow, we made this one really dark. There's just no hope in this one. It's dark.
but it's brutal and it's awesome.
And you're asking about sort of where does that come from? I think it is a cathartic thing. It's better than bottling it up for me. It's get all that darkness out in the music, and you make something hopefully other people can relate to, and it helps them as well, because that's the best result.
What about the title, The Fatal Shore? What does that refer to? Is it a concept as a whole, or each individual experiences that you've been through?
So, yeah, we I mean, that title actually came later. We kind of had a working title going for a while, but we both felt it didn't really represent the music and the story the way we wanted. So the title actually, it comes from a book that I think, Simon, you showed me the book, didn't you?
Well, it was actually recommended to me as well. So
yeah, right. Yeah. You want to talk about it? You probably know more about it.
Well, the album, it's a concept Zach came up with where it's sort of loosely based on a convict traveling to Australia. We wanted to do something, because heavy metal, and especially the doom scene, it's very European and UK sort of based. You know, the sound, all the great bands, you know, of course they're spread across the world, but when you think of metal and doom, you are normally thinking European and UK, now they're separate. So I think it was a cool thing when Zach came up with this concept to talk about Australia. It was something actually quite unique. You know, there's not much music talking about these different sort of concepts we were going for, which was, we were trying to make something sort of uniquely Australian, like a story. So this, you know, it's about this person who sort of is, you know, detained in the UK and then has a transportation sentence to Australia. And it's sort of documenting the mindset that this person might go through. And it is loose, and it's not like, there's not like characters and things like that.
Yeah.
But just because we had that concept, you know, you need to summarize that, especially in a title for an album. And when we're doing research for, you know, different parts of the history or, you know, what people were going through, there was this book called The Fatal Shore, and we thought that it was just a very, you know, it captured the mood that we wanted, where, you know, like I was saying, there was dark, there's no hope. You know, when you get to this location, life's not going to be any better for you. So I think The Fatal Shore just really summarizes that.
Yeah.
And the perfect thing about it is, you know, our history is pretty dark, you know,
Yeah,
from those times. Dark as fuck. So you've captured it really well.
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, you know, what do you want people to take away from that? You know what I mean? Looking back through the story that you're trying to tell, you know, what's the message that you want people to take away from it?
Well, I think it's part of something we sort of accidentally discovered was sort of this history repeating itself sort of thing. And, you know, like I said, we're talking about all these times that happens, let's say it's early 19th century, but then when we're going through the mindset and the emotion and how this person might be feeling, you know, a lot of the story seems like they could relate today as well, you know. So this person has been convicted and pushed away from their family, sent to this new location, you know, sees all these terrible things, and then is faced, with not many opportunities in his life anymore, or her life, whoever it is. So, and I think it's, like I was saying, so it's this history repeating itself. So when people listen to it, it's sort of like that learn from history or you're doomed to repeat it sort of thing. So, yeah, it's just documenting that mindset, and it's just interesting how there's this parallel, and it could almost happen at any time. I think it was a cool thing to discover accidentally about the writing process.
And I like what you said just then. You said him or her. You've kept it open to interpretation as well. So
it is, yeah. Like I said, there's no set characters. It's you put yourself in it if you want, or it can be about someone else. It's however you feel you want to listen to it.
And the first single, Banished, features Tim Charles from Obliviscaris, which is just fucking huge and epic, you know, and super unsettling too. How did that come about?
Yeah, they did a GoFundMe or a pledge campaign for one of their albums, and we always heard that end of the song to have a really abstract, dissonant violin part. So when they put that out, and we knew we could just grab them, you know, very easily, it made sense for us to, you know, not only pledge to their album, which was awesome, but to make sure he was on our album as well, because we always wanted him there anyway. And the result, I think, is great.
Have you guys played with them before? Or you've probably seen them a bunch of times?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're awesome, man. And seeing man, it's incredible, what they've achieved as well. And you know, I fucking love the album cover too. You know, it's got a lot of depth and it's a very grand scale to the whole thing. And sets the tone. Where's that cliff? Do you guys know where that, Zach? Do you know?
The very start of the album?
Oh, the cover. You know,
the cover.
the cliff.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Oh, the album cover. So that's in Tasmania. Because part of, like I was saying, we not only read up about the history of Australia, we actually went to different locations. So we went to during Dark Mofo, we went down to Tasmania, and we went to prisons like Port Arthur. But there's just this there's so many beautiful vistas in Tasmania, and there's this track.
Is it Cape Rowell?
Yeah, Cape Rowell or Roll. I'm not too sure how you say it. But yeah, we saw that, and there was just something about that cliff face, and it looks so foreboding. And we just got an excellent photo of it, and it became the album cover.
I think we mocked it up earlier on.
Yeah, we had a mock-up from some stock photo.
I think we'd found it online, and we really liked it, and we learned where it was, and we were able to go there. So
and got our own photo.
Yeah, got our own original photo
from Mel Tower, who does all the art.
That's awesome. Is that the same one in the Banished clip?
No. So Banished is all shot around where we live in Narrabeen in Sydney.
I don't get out much. I'm sorry.
We'll do the reality tour one day, and you can join that.
Did you guys play Dark Mofo?
No.
No, you just went down for it?
Yeah. Big fans of the festival, and
we'd love to do that.
Man.
If they're listening,
we're waiting for the offer.
Hey, I've got a reminder here. Hang on a sec. There we go. Shoo. All right, man. Yeah, so, I love that it's on shirts as well. You know, you got a bunch of merch already up there ready to go. Yeah, like I'm going to have to get one of those too. You know, and of course, what's the origins of the band name?
Exactly.
I don't think there's any real great story about it. It's just something that sounded cool back in the day. It turns out, though, there is a book called The Black Trillium, sort of like a dark sci-fi book. And I think we named it, and then we found out about that.
Yeah, I think that was cool.
Yeah.
Because when we started the band, it was just a little bedroom project,
Yeah.
So there wasn't too much thought put into things like the name or anything. So like I think you were saying, it was just sort of two random words that sounded cool. And it turns out someone already discovered it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're sticking with it. Yeah.
Maybe they discovered it after. Maybe they already knew that you guys were going to make the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time travel stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They stole it. Yeah. So obviously, with everything that's going on with COVID-19, you know, it's been great for creative, you know, minds, but super shit for bands in terms of touring and just even jamming together, man. I'm going crazy, not even jamming, you know, just getting in together in a room. How are you guys navigating that? How are you guys getting around that and being, you know, obviously you got the album coming out and you're trying to stay on top of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily it was all put together before any restrictions were put in place. You know, we've had it, like I was saying, prepared for a while. And we weren't actually planning to gig much on this because it is mainly a studio project. You know, if the right gig comes up and we've got people, you know, that can help perform it, we do a show. But we weren't planning any sort of tour. So it hasn't actually affected us too negatively on the live side. But I think it's sort of hard to tell exactly, you know, if there was no virus at all, would the release be different? It's sort of hard to tell.
Yeah.
When it comes to playing live, you obviously you have other members with you, or do you just break it down as the two-piece?
No, we have. So David Schneider, our good friend who recorded all the drums, he's played live with us, and we just find someone who's free on guitar at the time to learn the stuff. Yeah. But no idea when we'll be back on stage at this point.
Well, my next question was, I mean, no one knows, but, you know, you got plans to come up here to Australia, to Queensland. Yeah, I think I've had too many of these. You plan on coming up here to Queensland at some point when it all blows over?
Well, if we had an offer for it.
Yeah, I mean, never say never.
Yeah.
But there's almost no point in planning anything at the moment, unfortunately.
No. But have you played up here?
No, we played in Canberra and Sydney, but I don't. Like I said, there's only been I think we've only done 5 gigs or something all up. Sydney and Canberra.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've said it's more like a studio project, but if you got offers to do Europe, where I think you guys are just going to absolutely kill it over there, would you'd have to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still waiting again for the offer. Yeah, obviously Europe's a huge metal scene and something more niche like us as well is accepted there. But yeah, once again, who knows if that would ever happen or when.
Have you got sort of goals for even? I mean, it's hard to say 2020, but even 2021 after after this blows over, what do you guys hope to achieve with the band?
Yeah, it'd be just good to build up our name, and just more releases because we've been so quiet for so long. And back when we did our first EP, got a good response. So we sort of had the ball rolling a bit, but as we've already said, we sort of got quiet a bit. But yeah, I'd just like to see us writing more, and when it comes back, possibly playing shows.
Just making people aware of us, I think, is the main goal. We're still a very small band, no matter how you look at it. So, once this album's out, hopefully it's received really well and people like it and there's word of mouth. And then the next one we do is even bigger and better. Have
you already got ideas?
Oh, yeah.
Cooking?
Yeah, there's heaps of ideas, actually.
Yeah? How do you guys write? I mean, what's your process? Do you do everything? Do you jam on it first and then flesh it out that way?
Well, normally we meet once a week. This is actually where the virus has affected us. We meet up once a week and we jam and we talk about ideas and goals for the music. Yeah. So obviously can't really do that at the moment. So it is more just individually and send ideas back and forth and collaborate.
Yeah, it's sort of how we've done it, I think, as well. There's been a bit of, through emails and stuff. Someone will send me something and I'll add something to it, send it back. So we sort of collaborate that way.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, boys, it's been great having a beer with you tonight. The new album Fatal Shore comes out this week on April 29. The links will be posted down here where the info stuff is, right there. Thanks for hanging, boys, and all the best with the album. And get your asses up here to Queensland, and we'll have one in person.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.